So basically what I'm going to try and do in 10 minutes, it's quite challenging because it's a short space of time. But you guys, you're either in third year, junior cert, or transition year, and you're probably getting to the stage where people are asking you, what are you going to do when you leave school? So my job here in 10 minutes is to try and help you answer that question. What I'll try and do is try and explain how I decided to do engineering and how I went through that process and how you might follow a similar process. Before I start, one thing I'd like to say is that whatever career you choose, my advice to you is no matter whether it's engineering, science, or something else, try and find something that you're passionate about at the moment, something that you may have as a hobby or something like that. Because as somebody said, if you find a career that you're passionate about, you won't have to work a day in your life. A bit of an exaggeration, but you get the message. Okay? So some of the pointers you might think about is that might show that you have a disposition or an interest in engineering or science is if you can answer some of these questions. Do you like to solve problems? Do you like to solve technical problems? Do you like to know how things work, how to make things? Is science one of your favorite subjects? Maths? Also, do you like working in teams? And do you like solving problems for others or coming up with solutions for others? When I was about your age or prior to that, my interests were space, astronomy, rockets, the moon, things like that. So I was always interested in that type of thing. So I was going to do engineering or science. So if you have a similar interest, maybe engineering is something for you or science something for you. The different branches then of engineering, it's a hugely varied field. There is mechanical engineering where you deal with like machines or mechanical devices, automobiles, electrical, where you deal again with electricity and turbines, things like that. Electronics is what I studied. Civil engineering has to do with structures and roads and things like that. And as engineering advances, there's even developments in the fields of engineering, the types of engineering. For example, an area that wasn't even around when I qualified was biomedical engineering, which is sort of a synthesis of computing, signal processing, and all applied to the medical field and coming up with new medical devices. Maybe I could summarize some of the things then, some of the skills I use in my work. If I give you a typical day, in the morning I go in, my job is to lead a team of engineers to solve a technical problem, to build a piece of software. The focus in our job at the moment, everything is on teamwork. So we work in teams of 10. We go in the morning, we all stand up and we discuss what we did the day before. It's a process known as agile software development. And everybody says what they did the day before, what they're going to do today, if there are any blockers, anything anybody can help them with. So there's a huge amount of interpersonal working in teams to solve problems. So I don't know, maybe some people have the idea that engineers work in a back room or something like that. Nothing could be further from the truth. Everybody works in teams. You can only accomplish so much on your own. You can accomplish far more as a team. When I qualified, just to give you an idea, one of the things about engineering I find is the huge variety of roles or areas you can go into. For example, when I qualified, my qualification was in electronics. I went to an electronic manufacturer who made electronic switches, telephone exchanges basically. I moved from there into the aircom, into the networking side of things. In networking, I got interested in software development. I did research in software development, and then I moved from there into Ericsson's. I got interested in networking. I moved from there into 2 small startup companies in Ireland. So you might say, well, these are all hugely different areas, but the key thing, engineering and scientific thinking teaches you a method of problem solving that can be applied to any area and to any problem. And that's why engineers often end up in positions of management as well. One of the reasons being is that you're taught how to solve problems and this is a really transferable skill, whether it's a problem to do with a technical problem or a project problem, or whether it's running a business, which in itself is a systems problem. So engineering teaches you a way of thinking. It opens up a huge variety of possibilities in terms of the companies you can work with, the roles you can do. You could be an individual developer, you could be a team member, a team leader, project manager, or if you have your own idea, you can start your own business. So there's huge scope there. That about concludes my, so that's about it.
Yeah, great.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys, so this is the most important part of this roadshow. It's when we open the floor to you guys, where you have an opportunity to ask any one of us. So you have a scientist, you have a technologist, you have an engineer, and you have a recruiter in the science and engineering sector. So if you have any questions around that, we will be delighted to hear them.
What aspect of your career would you say is the most challenging or most interesting? That's the first one.
For me, the most interesting thing is the variety. Like, I go in the morning, we have a stand-up meeting, we talk, you're dealing with people. There's the interpersonal aspect, then you go back to your desk, you work on your problem, you've got your technical work and whatever. It's the variety. The challenging actually is to keep up to speed with the rate of change of technology. That's a big challenge.
Yeah. Next question.
I was wondering, are there any careers in science, technology, or engineering for people who aren't particularly good or interested in maths?
There's a huge area now in software development called usability, UX. If you think about your mobile phone or any of the software devices or tablets or iPads you use, the key area is how usable it is and the user interaction. It's a huge area that didn't exist before we had these devices, and it can be the making or breaking of a product. Just to echo again, like the interpersonal skills, the problem-solving skills, the way you approach a problem is the key. And that's just to echo what Chris said again, it's all about transferable skills. That's why you can take these roles or skills you have and move across loads of different industries.